everyone, so welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning into this tutorial. Today's video is a very fun video for me because I'm using a few new products, a few that were sent to me and some that I ordered. Like the eyeshadows are the new mattes by Makeup Geek and one of the new DuoChrome pressed eyeshadows that came out back in September, and I did a review on the pigments and I will link it down below if you're interested in that. I'm not a fan of the pigments, not the product itself, just the packaging is a big kind of turn off for me, but I remain hopeful because I really wanted to get the pressed shadows, the duochrome ones that look like this in like a little pan. They've been out of stock for quite some time and some of them still are, so whenever I can get a chance I will get those last few that I need. And then I also decided to incorporate a few of the new mattes. I have seen the videos online about the new mattes, especially videos that Marlena herself has put out there about these, and they look really awesome and incredible, very pigmented, so I knew I had to try them for myself. So this look is very easy. I skipped the liner today just because I don't feel like doing a liner. And I just like it. I'm using a new lip combo, a few new products. Again, those were sent to me for review purposes, so I'm definitely trying some stuff out, and you will see that in the video. And this video is a talk through video for the most part. I have been doing a lot of sort of voiceovers because they're just easier for me, but today I had a little bit of time while little man is sleeping, so I figured why not just talk to you guys. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. I like this look. I can wear this anywhere really because the duochrome is not as potent and as strong as it would be in like pigment form, just because pigments are a lot more intense anyways worn in comparison to a shadow. I just think that it's much more subdued, but you can still see that sort of duochrome. And I haven't tried them all. I have almost all of them from the range, and I would say this one is probably the most unique one, the one that I would say definitely check out if you're interested, because it's like a light purple, like a lilac purple with an icy blue duochrome finish to it, so it's really cool. So I will put that down below. I also have an affiliate link also with Makeup Geek, so if you're interested or want to purchase some of these, you can use my link down below, and it is affiliate, so that means that if you place an order using it, I do get a small percentage commission off of your purchase. And if you don't use it, it's okay. It's just there for convenience if you want to use it. So enough blabbling, let's just jump into this look. Alright, to start off with, my face is clean and moisturized. I'm going in with the Grand Central Beauty Smart Skin Primer and Serum, and I just recently got this in the mail. They sent me some skincare products to try and to review, so I'm just going to be applying this with my fingers. And it is a serum that you can use under your makeup. It says even on top of makeup or just with part of your skincare routine. So I'm going to be testing this out a little bit more before I do my video. So I'm just using my fingers to apply and just making sure that I blend this in really well before going in with my foundation. And I've also been testing out the full lips. They sent me a few of these as well to try, so you'll be hearing about this soon in a video. But moving on to foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte mixed with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. These two together are freaking amazing. I love this combo, and I will list down below in the description box the colors that I use. And I'm using the Morphe M439 to buff this into the skin, and I'm sort of testing some new brushes as well. So I've got a whole bunch of new stuff to try out this new year, so you'll be seeing some reviews coming up very soon, and I will let you guys know when I start working on those videos. Alright, so what I've done is I've applied a little bit of primer, and I've set my primer with just a bit of the Mercier Translucent Powder just to get rid of the tackiness from my primer. And I'm going to go over that with a shadow. A shadow would have done the job fine without having to do the step of the translucent powder, but I'm kind of used to it anyway, so I just did it. I'm going to be using the Morphe M439 brush, which looks like this. And this is what the color looks like. It's a very soft kind of buttercream yellow color. It is matte, but it doesn't seem kind of chalky when I swatched it. So what I'm going to do is apply that all over the lid. And again, what this is going to do before applying any shadows is going to get rid of any sort of tackiness that you may have on the lid. So if you put a primer on, this will sort of, in a way, kind of mattify the area so that it's not going to cause any sort of patchy look, or where you put shadow on and you can't blend it because it just sort of grabbed onto that primer. This is going to help prevent that. And you know, if you put concealer on, you want to set that. You don't want to go shadow directly over concealer that hasn't fully set, isn't completely dry, if that makes any sense. So just a little bit of this all over the eye. And I've noticed such a big difference doing this specific step that Now I really can't see myself not doing it. So for today's look, I wanted to keep everything somewhat on the cooler side. What I'm going to do is start with my lighter shades. So this is going to be my transition shade. This is called Confection. It is a matte, soft, dusty pink color. And the reason why it's my transition shade is because I'm going to go in with BedRock, which is cooler, and it's like a taupey gray. As you can see, this BedRock is going to be darker. So I want to start with the transition, which is going to be lighter, help with blending, and just make it sort of gradually fade from dark to light. And I'm using a Sigma E25 blending brush. It's one of my favorites. And I'm going to apply this. Now what I like to do is kind of tilt my head back just a bit. That will expose your natural crease line, and if you don't have a crease, you can just make a crease where you want it to be. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to look back, and I can see right in this area. So you can see if I push, you'll see how it just sort of caves in a bit. That's where you want to put your transition shade. And I do like to pull this color up just a little bit higher, like above the crease. Again, because it helps with blending, and that's just the look. I like it to be a little bit further out. I don't like it to be so close to the lid. Again, that's my personal preference. So just apply it to your crease. Okay, so now that I have the Confection color, and it's not going to be very noticeable. That's why the transition shade is a lot lighter than your darkest shade, because it's just going to sort of be that first base of color to create that gradient effect and to help with blending. So you can kind of see it just a little bit, which is okay because we'll come back to it here in a little bit. But I'm going to go in with my second crease color. So this is going to be just a little bit darker than what I've already applied, and this is called BedRock, and it is a kind of taupey gray color. Again, this is part of the matte collection or line of shadows from Makeup Geek, and I'm going to still use my Sigma E25, just picking up a little bit of this color. And what I'm going to do is kind of go right in my crease with it, and I'm going to come down just a little bit lower than where I put the Confection color, just to kind of deepen everything up a bit. And then to sort of help with the blending process, I'm going to switch to my Morphe M441, which is very similar to another brush that I have from Sigma. It looks like this. I'm not really sure off the top of my head what the number is for the Sigma. I have the old style of numbering on here, but I will list it down below. I'm going to take that. It's more of like a pointed, sort of tapered crease brush, and I'm going to come in here and sort of go back and forth to soften out those lines. Alright, so next I'm going to switch to a crease brush that's a little bit more pointed, and as you can see here, it's got the point. It's much more tapered on the side. This is the Luxe Crease Brush number 228 by Zoeva, and mine has the pink handles. It's part of the pink elements. Looks like this. And I'm going to go in with something a little bit deeper than BedRock. So here's BedRock that I just put in the crease. Here is something a little bit deeper. Again, still cooler. This is called Concrete Jungle. As you can see, this is my crease shade, and then this is going to be my outer V because it is darker and richer in tone. So when you apply the colors in the steps that we have, you'll have something very light, a little bit darker, and then very dark on this outer corner, which is how you would want your shadows to look. And I like to kind of swipe like this to put the most product here, and then sort of start bringing it up to meet into the other shadows that we have in the crease. But I'm going to stay on this outer portion of the eye. I don't want to go in too far. If you want, you can switch to a smaller brush. Something like the MAC 219 would work as well. That's one of my favorites. I mean, there's nothing on this brush, and I can go in here and sort of work faster because it's smaller. Ideally, you want something small like this anyways for really dark colors on this outer V. It's just going to make everything easier. And if you feel like you need to sort of blend that out a little bit, you can go back in with your transition shade. This is, for me, it's going to be Confection. And I'm going to go in with something a little bit fluffy. Let's go in with the Morphe M441. And then pick up some of that color and kind of go around the edges just to kind of help soften everything. Alright, so I went ahead and deepened this up just a little bit more, and again, this is a where you could sort of tone it down, you can add more. I still use my 219 excuse me, from MAC, and what I've done is I've sort of brought it in just a bit, and when you do that with a brush like this, it's going to give you more of like a cut crease, sort of more defined, very sharp looking crease. If you wanted it to be a little less, you could use something fluffier and you know, like the E25 or this one from Zoeva, they would give you a much more diffused look, but I was going for something just a little bit stronger today. Moving on to the lower lash line, I'm going to wipe off my 219. Love these pencil brushes for lower lash line, and so I'm going to go in with Confection. Yes, Confection on just the tip of the brush, and I'm going to run that as a base for all of my colors. Then I'm going to take the color BedRock. Again, in the same sort of layering as we did in the crease, we're doing that in the lower lash line. And I'm going to come and connect it from this outer corner, swing down and sort of connect it. That's why I like using these small brushes for this. Then again, Concrete Jungle on the outer part of the lower lash line. Alright, so now that we have the lower lash line done, it's time to put that color on the DuoChrome shadow onto the lid. So there's two types of brushes that I like to do for, or use for packing. And the first one is this sort of style brush. It's more like a paddle brush. This is from Morphe brushes. And it's very similar to like the 252 by MAC. I think it's a 242 that's the smaller version of the 252. But anything that's sort of packed like this. I also like the Sonia Kashuk number 106 brush. And as you can see, they're both kind of small, and the bristles are very tightly packed, so it picks up a lot of product, deposits it on the lid very nicely. So any of these two would work. I'm going in with the Sonia Kashuk just because it's smaller, and I really want to sort of keep it right in this inner part, right here, basically halfway. I don't want to come into this darker color that we used earlier. So the color that I'm using is called BackLight. It's a beautiful kind of lilac with a icy blue duochrome finish to it. Now I think it would be kind of cool to sort of bring that color right into this inner tear duct on the lower lash line. So I'm going to switch to a really small brush. This is a liner brush, but anything sort of small and very precise would work. And I'm going to go ahead and take that same color, tapping off the excess, and I'm going to run that right along this inner part. And it's going to create a brightness because of the tone. And it's also going to be pretty cool because of that duochrome finish that it's got. It's going to be a nice little pop. Alright, so what I've done is my concealer, the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer with the setting powder from Laura Mercier. Love that stuff. It's so great. That concealer is awesome. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of keep it light and fresh and maybe skip the liner on the upper lash line. But what I am going to do is tight line. So I'm going to take a black liner. This is the Modster eyeliner from Ardency. It's my go-to liner. I love this stuff. It's a nice rich creamy black color. And I'm not going to do anything on the lower lash line either. And for mascara, I'm going to start off by using the Stretchex mascara. And it says Touch and Soul, so I think that's the brand name. But it looks like this from Sephora. And this is what the brush looks like. It's very small, but it has a bit of a sort of dip to it. So it's really nice to hug the lashes. So I'm going to just do a couple coats of this, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, so I know I look a little crazy. I've got lots of translucent powder. I'm doing the whole baking thing. So let's move on to blush. Now I have done some contouring and some bronzing with the Ultra Bronze by Makeup Revolution. Did that off camera. And I used the Morphe M439 brush. Absolutely love this brush for bronzing and contouring. It makes the job so much easier. And for blush, I'm going to use the Powder Blush by NYX. This is in the shade Dusty Rose. It's a matte color, but it's a really pretty color. I've been using this nonstop for the last 2 weeks while I had family here. It's just a really pretty color that has gone with a multitude of different looks, from natural to very dark and sort of festive for like New Year's Eve. And the brush that I've been using to apply that is the Mascara Beauty F200. I usually use this to kind of finish off the face and blend everything, but this actually makes a really great blush brush. Especially when you use something that's got quite a bit of pigment, you want something very light. So I just swirl my brush in there, tap off the excess, smile, and just lightly sort of dust it on the apples of the cheek. Okay, so now I'm going to dust off that translucent powder, and I'm using this little brush right here. It's the one from Sonia Kashuk with the little stars in it. And that what baking does is just sort of sharpens up your contour line. And if you do a translucent powder and you dust it off, it's not going to change anything. It's just going to, again, sharpen up that line so it's very sharp and you can slay the contour game, right? For highlight, I'm going to use my Merry Luminizer by TheBalm. Love this. And I'm using the Morphe M441. Now for lips, I'm going to use a few new products. The first one is this waterproof automatic lip liner in the shade Cappuccino. This is from the brand Full Lips. They're the ones that make this type of device that you can suck on to sort of naturally make your lips fuller and more plump. They sent me a lot of their products to try, so I'm going to just give it a go with the Cappuccino liner. And this one is very natural as far as like the color. It's very soft. And it says waterproof, so hopefully that means it's a long wear as well. And I'm also going to lightly fill my lips in as well. So that's what it looks like just with the lip liner lined and filled in. When I first read Cappuccino, I thought, okay, this is going to be crazy. It is very dark, like a brown on the outside. I wouldn't say that's very accurate because when it goes onto my lips, it's very soft. It reminds me a lot of my Milani color statement in All Natural, which is a very good everyday color. This is the type of shade that you can use with different sort of lipsticks or even lip glosses, long wear type of lipsticks that you can do, liquid lipsticks. This is a shade that I think would work with a lot of different ones. So if you check out the site, which I will link down below, and if you are interested in this color, don't be fooled by that really dark sort of chocolate band that it's got, because it doesn't look like that on the lips at all. They also sent me some of their lipsticks, and this is what the tubes look like. Just nice sleek packaging. It says Full Lips on there, and they have their little logo. This is in the number 670 wearable shade. There's the color, and there's the lip liner, and then there's that shade here. It's very soft. It's kind of like a kind of nude, but it's a little bit deeper and a little darker. So I'm just going to kind of tap it right over. And as you can see, it's a very natural color. And these have that very typical drugstore lipstick smell. And then to kind of lighten that, I'm going to go with my favorite gloss, the Butter Gloss by NYX. This is in the shade Creme Brûlée. Love this. And there you have the completed look. Alright, so the look is finally complete. Everything is done. I love the way this turned out. I think it's very fun. It's very appropriate for anybody to wear, appropriate for anywhere, because it's not super intense. And I've been doing a lot of sort of very warm tone looks a lot lately, and that's just what I'm more comfortable wearing. I've done a lot of sort of smoky looks, and I just wanted to do something a little bit more cool tone, something a little bit more fun. And it is cold here in Georgia, even though it's been very hot. It's like in the 20s today, eek. And I just wanted something to sort of brighten everything up, even though finally the sun is out. It's been gloomy a lot over the holidays. I just wanted to do something fun, and I thought BackLight is the perfect one, especially because I've had my eye on this shadow for quite some time, and so finally it is mine. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for sharing your time with me today. Everything will be listed down in the description box for you. And if you'd like to tune into my life off camera, I have Snapchat. I also am picking up on vlogging again. I know some of you have asked to see more vlogs. And if you want to tune into social media, I do have Twitter and Instagram. It's @GlamourBellX. It's all down below. So I think that is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, especially this type of video that was a little bit more explaining more of the basics as requested by a few of you that watch my videos. So I hope that you liked it. Thank you for being here, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.